Well, he's the authority on tax lien certificates, and we've been talking all day about various subjects and tax deeds and such, and of course, it's Ted Thomas. Hey, Ted, question though. What do investors who get into tax liens, what do they need to know about the certificate redemption period?
Okay. All right. Now, we're not talking about redemption in the religious term. We're talking about redemption, meaning the people will come in and pay their taxes. So let me give you a couple of examples. Now, you never want to spend any time at any auction without reading the rules. So if I pick up an auction list like this, the front pages will always have the rules. So they're just written in plain English. You need to read the rules. So let me give you some ideas. So here in Florida, where I live, if you went to the auction and you raised your hand to buy a certificate, they would sell you a certificate, which is nothing more than a piece of paper. All right. So when you got that piece of paper, you gave your money to the government. All right. Now you wait. All right, now you're waiting. That's the redemption period. The person that you paid their taxes has a redemption period of 2 years in Florida. Okay, now in other states, it could be longer than that. For example, in Arizona, they will allow them 3 years to come in and pay. 1, 2, 3. And they have to pay all those years in taxes, but they have to get them all paid in the 3 years. If they don't get it paid, then you're going to get the property. All right, so the redemption period can be different in different places. So for example, in Georgia, the redemption period is 1 year. So you raise your hand, you actually buy a redeemable deed, and they have 1 year to redeem it. Okay, redeem it just means they're gonna come in and pay. Nothing confusing about that. Okay, now all states don't have redemption. So people will call me up and say, what's the redemption in California? There is none. What's it in New York? There is none. Only certain states have redemption. Now, how are you going to know that? Well, you're going to have to go to school, or you're going to have to learn how to look it up online. In Houston, Texas, or in any of the there's 254 counties in Texas. All 254 counties can have an auction on the first Tuesday. Now, all 254 counties don't have an auction because they don't have a property. But I can tell you in Houston, they'll have 200 properties every Tuesday. It's every first of the Tuesday. First Tuesday of the month, they'll have 200 properties. All right. So when you raise your hand and you pay, then that person, their property's in jeopardy now. If they don't come in and redeem, redemption, they don't come in 180 days, you own the property. It's as simple as that. I didn't make the rules. That's the way it is. South Carolina, listen to this. You're not even going to believe this, Randy. You will not believe what I'm going to tell you. In South Carolina, you go like this, you raise your hand. I want to buy that one. And so you pay them. You give them the money. Okay, the guy's got 1 year to redeem, 1 year. Any time of that year, they can come in and pay you whatever you paid plus the interest rate, and they get their property deed back. If they don't pay you at the end of the year, you're just sitting at home. South Carolina will send you the deed. You don't have to do anything. They just send you the deed.
I was just going to ask you that. What do you do if you have a tax lien? And I don't have to do anything. It'll just be taken care of. I don't have to go pursue the guy.
You just get the property. It's yours.
Okay.
It's yours.
Well, hey, let me ask you. I mean, so obviously you might want to try to buy a tax lien for somebody you think might not redeem then. So is there any strategies for having a sense of, is this?
Now. All right, let me give you a couple of super simple strategies. All right, so I bought a certificate today. But before I buy the certificate, I look it up. See, I look up the number of the certificate on the list. I look it up, and then I go on the computer, and I see that it's a certificate in Jacksonville, Florida. That's what I'm trying to buy, Jacksonville, Florida, okay? But the guy lives in Montana.
So
it probably means he doesn't pay the tax. Where's the tax bill going? The tax bill's going to the property. What if no one forwards it to Montana? But he doesn't even know his property's going to auction. They're going to send, the auction letter is going to go to Jacksonville. They're going to send 3 notices to that property. Big notice of default. I'll show you one I got here on the desk. The notice of default. They're going to send it. Just big notice of default like that. They're just going to send them to him. But they're going to send it to Jacksonville. He's over in Montana. There's a strategy. What's wrong with that? All right, what's another strategy? People get divorced. Who's paying the taxes? He moves in with his mother. She goes back home. Who's paying the taxes? Who's paying the payment? There's all kinds of strategies like that. Now, I can spend 2 hours on that subject, but the point is, I have clients, matter of fact, if you go to tedthomas.com/free, you'll see a video of a couple. They buy a property for $11,000. It's worth $180,000.
Wow.
and the people disappeared. They disappeared. No one knows what happened. Left at midnight, who knows where they went?
Well, you know what else you're going to find? If you go to tedthomas.com/free, you're going to find a lot more videos like this one with some great insights that are going to, if you don't know anything about this, you're going to begin to learn. If you know little, you're going to learn a little more, but I think you're going to learn that you might want to talk to this guy or take some of his classes. Again, Ted Thomas, he's authority. 30 years you've been doing this, Ted?
30 years, probably
30 years.
33 now.
Yeah, something tells me you picked up a few tricks in that amount of time. So
I used to have black hair and I was skinny.
Oh, geez, wow.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to learn from the best, you have it right here. tedthomas.com/free. Check it out right now.